All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to R and
Jay.
reviews of Once Upon a Time's 17th episode of its fourth season, Heart of Gold, aka The Return of the Wicked Witch of the West. One of my favorite episodes since the bumbling idiots have been around in season 4B. I thought it was really good with the beginning. The flashback was kind of boring, but the surprise at the end I quite enjoyed. But I think my co-host Joe might have some disagreements with me, but that's okay because I'm going to ignore them.
Okay, that sounds fair, right?
Yeah, well, it's fine. No, your disagreements are probably justified quite a bit. The episode pretty much in the flashback, it's really quick. We go to Robin Hood and he owns a bar with Maid Marian and God. He gets, the tax guy comes, and everyone hates the tax collector, of course. And he says, Robin, I'm going to close your bar if you don't pay any taxes. Then Rumpelstiltskin comes a couple hours later and says, if you go to Oz and you get me this elixir of the broken heart, I will give you money so you can keep your tavern. And he goes to Oz and he meets the Wicked Witch of the West, who throws one fireball and then gives up on trying to kill him, steals the elixir of the broken heart, and gives it. But before he can even give it to Rumpelstiltskin, he meets Will Scarlet, who steals it from him. Because Will Scarlet needs to get over the death of his sister. And I don't even know where that comes from because I've never watched Wonder Woman. Either way, he comes back and he doesn't give it to Rumpelstiltskin, and Rumpelstiltskin doesn't even react to this, which is annoying. And he says, well, I stole, and my whole thing of stealing now is going to be to steal from the rich and give to the poor, and we get Robin Hood's motto about where he gets his whole I'm a hero now. And that was the flashback. The Wicked Witch, her whole big thing was in 30 seconds, where she even duplicated herself.
Yeah, it was cool because this was the most detailed.
That was the flashback. Joe, what would you say?
Wait, you froze. What was that?
I said, what would you call if you had to give the flashback on the scale of excellent to suck, what would you call that?
It was around the good. It was cool. It was cool to see Robin Hood's backstory to this degree, and like you said, the motto. We find out where that comes from, and that's fine and dandy. And that I would say was one of the stronger points of the episode. Definitely one of the flashbacks.
Yeah, well, that was his first. That was his first flashback ever, where we get to see his past. So I was happy for that.
Yeah,
so that was good. So we get to see more of him getting built up. Yeah, we get his whole motto, and of course, for me, being the advocate for the Wicked Witch of the West, seeing her back was pretty cool. But her interactions in the past, I was not a fan of. But so Joe thinks it's good. I think it's good. I'll agree with him on that. So good. We're already in agreement on this on the flashback.
It's not going to stay like that for long.
Well, what we get in present day. At the beginning of the episode, Emma is still really mad at her parents because her parents sacrificed another person's soul to make her the savior, which that one scene, and that's all her parents were in. They were in the episode for a grand total of 10 seconds. The same with Henry, Captain Hook, and Belle wasn't even there. So like every other important character is completely pushed to the side. And most of the episode after that point takes place in Regina's vault, where is telling her a story of why you're going to do what I say. And then we go 9 weeks into the past, and in those 9 weeks in the past, we get more Robin Hood backstory. And I use quotes around the term backstory because it's only 9 weeks in his past. It's not like...
Yeah, we had two Robin Hood backstories, right?
Yeah,
two different...
Exactly. So... And by the way, just to note for anyone who watches this in the future that Maleficent and Cruella are not in this episode at all. So they're not bumbling around the story. We're trying to find the author. And the author's even in the beginning of the episode for 10 seconds, but even his role is greatly reduced because of Robin Hood. So Robin Hood has really taken center stage here.
Right.
I don't even know the actor's name. Tom Clark is Robin Hood? I don't even know. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, it doesn't matter. But anyway, he actually, like, he's a good enough actor that he can hold his own for an episode, you know?
Absolutely. Agree completely. He has his character down pat.
Yes. Now, characters that are down patted. Well, the big reveal of this episode is that Zelena is Maid Marian in disguise. And she has been living with Robin Hood since they came back in There's No Place Like Home in season 3, which was the finale. So, like, for people who watch the show quite a bit, you're going to have to really think that means from the second she came back, when Emma brought her back, and right before Elsa popped out of the urn, that was Zelena. And like
that was it was very reminiscent of in Lost when the smoke monster was locked for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this reminded me of, because like that was just a dumb turn taken to just for the sake of being a turn.
I think the writers got a lot of backlash when Zelena died. And I mean, I definitely know because I've read things that people were really upset that they killed her. And I think that they wanted to kind of rehash that and bring her back in some way. I think I would have thought, oh, like flashbacks would be okay to do it, like give us like that.
Right.
But no, she's alive. Like they completely destroyed her death. And she's masquerading as Maid Marian. And we find out the way she dies is, and I could be wrong, so for any viewer who watches this knows the true answer, or knows the exact reason, is apparently after he stabbed her, her spirit, her life essence, merged with the magic in her pendant, and then opened up the time portal, and then it followed Emma into the past, and then reformed itself. And after she was reformed, she killed Marian, and then came back. And it brings into question that Zelena had a frozen heart for many episodes of the frozen heart. It questions me, like, Zelena's supposed to be the most powerful character, the most powerful witch in the show, and she didn't know that the Snow Queen poisoned her cup.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I wonder if like the Zelena thing was like oh, we break, like we're gonna write in these episodes and add Zelena in now, and not think about that. But like she doesn't know that the ice cream that she's holding is cursed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I do, and you're absolutely right. And it's just, I don't get it. I don't see the logic in this twist. It just seems like they wanted to bring her back and figured this was the way to do it, and I don't know if it paid off. I think that was a really, really weak turn. It felt pedantic. It felt very convoluted. Forced completely. I don't think it was a natural kind of turn.
I mean, I have not been on board with the Bumbling Idiots arc for a long time, and the fact that they weren't even featured in this episode was a good thing for me. So like, I enjoyed the episode quite a bit, and I didn't mind her return. However, from the preview for next week, she's not even in it. So like, she's not even the season's big bad still anymore. Like, she's just more like a minor villain, which is weird because she was the big bad for a whole half a season.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of goes with what you were saying, is like they killed her brutally, like originally. So this is probably just their attempt at just kind of bringing her back for a couple episodes and just making good, like fixing what they did.
Yeah.
So, but by fixing it, they kind of went with a stretch here and reintroduced her in a way that I don't think is fixing the problem. I think it's making it worse.
Well, you and I completely agree with what you said about this. I don't know if you remember even saying it, but you said like Ingrid was like the better, like the recon version of Zelena. Like if they did Zelena like the right version of it. You remember saying that when we talked about Ingrid? You just liked you liked Ingrid's approach better than you liked Zelena.
The approach was definitely, I think, way better. Yeah.
And when Zelena revealed herself to Mr. Gold in the hospital, she said, "Well, now I get to take Regina's, her destined love and make him my own and have him fall in love with me. And I'm like, that's high school, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's, and which goes back to like the point. I mean, I don't know why I love the Wicked Witch the Wicked Witch of the West Ark so much. I just did. Maybe I just couldn't stand the Peter Pan one. But I mean, her whole purpose was she wanted her own, but Regina really didn't do anything to her. And now she's like, oh, I'm gonna sit on my sister's boyfriend and be all happy about it. And then that was it.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind of like Once Upon a Time meets Degrassi. That's what's going on here.
Degrassi?
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time meets Mean Girls, more like it.
Yeah. Once Upon a Mean Girls. That's what this episode was.
Yeah. I mean, but like when she was threatening Rumpelstiltskin to like, because he was dying and she had a potion to save his life. Like Rebecca Mader's acting at that point was she's so into it, like she so loves him, like, oh, like I love this, because like she's like really teasing him, because if you think about the episode, like, you know, she killed his son, but it was his son's fault. I don't blame Zelena for killing Neil. And then he tried to kill her, and now she's like, well, I killed your son, and you tried to kill me, and now I'm going to tease you as you die. So it's like, ha, 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 ha. But you could just, like, she even did her original catchphrase, oops, which is on Rebecca Mader's Twitter, actually. I've seen that. Like, she has that as a hashtag. She likes the word oops. So to wrap it up, I mean, this episode was really easy because it's Robin Hood's backstory, Zelena's revealed. Like, that's to sum that up in 4 words. And she says to Gold, I want my own happy ending to it, because I guess taking Robin Hood away from Regina is not a happy enough ending for her. So she wants to have, so, you know, like her deal was, I'll give you the potion that won't kill you, and you get the author to write me a happy story, a happy ending. And then we go to the very end of the episode, and Gold's story about Zelena is done, and he gives Regina a cell phone, and he says, call her, and Regina calls, and it's Zelena on the phone, and she goes, ha ha ha, I have your boyfriend, ha ha. And if you don't, and then Gold goes, if you don't want Zelena to kill him, then you're gonna have to corrupt Emma, and then the episode ends.
I think the direction they're going, and you know, this is armchair writing right here. I think it has so much potential. I think it's really good, the arc they're trying to tell here. However, I think there's too many gimmicks that's kind of like tripping over itself a little bit, like with Zelena being Maid Marian the whole time. And all that. I think it would be a really good idea to kind of reintroduce these villains. Hell, even Peter Pan, you know, we don't really know.
The reason why Zelena died was, you know, or came back to life was, you know, her body was just a shell and she could easily remake it. So what about Peter Pan? He was super powerful too. So where's his shell back?
We honestly could see a bunch of villains come back, because the way they've kind of positioned this arc is team good guy versus team bad guy. And to reintroduce Zelena, Peter Pan, you know, some of the prior enemies, that would be pretty cool. And told in the right way, that would be pretty epic for the show to do. However, I don't think that's kind of the scale they're going for here. And instead, they're just introducing maybe Zelena, maybe one other. But I think at this point, it looks like just Zelena, unless Cora is coming back too, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's flashback or in the present. I'm guessing that's flashback. For another whole arc would be weird. I wouldn't like that.
Yeah,
they killed her. I mean, she died.
Well, Zelena did too.
Well, but the thing is, like, Zelena, like, she turned to dust. So, like, we never saw her body.
Yeah.
So, like, that's like the way they justify it. Like, Cora, we see a body, you know?
But then,
so they could bring Pam back.
Her body gets sprinkled with the dust of the fairy bring back lifer. And, you know, like, it's very easy.
You know, if they can bring back Cora with the fairy bring back lifer, bring back my favorite character then.
Hell, they brought back Pinocchio. I mean, this is just the season of reveals, right? Or returns right here. Soon, Belfast will be back. I mean, you know.
Actually, if they bring him back, I think I might quit the show. Cause I could barely watch it with him. He was such a. I hate to say it, I don't think he was a good actor. So.
Oh really? I like
him.
I thought he was pretty charismatic.
No, he was in Walking Dead, and when he got killed in Walking Dead one time, I think I cheered.
Yeah, he was in Walking Dead for like 5 minutes too.
Yeah, he was.
Nebraska. He's so funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and he got killed. I think I laughed.
Yeah. But spoiler, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shame because I do like the story they're trying to tell. I just think it's kind of tripping over itself.
You have too many characters, but it seems they're also trying to they brought in the trio, like obviously, but then they got rid of Ursula, so it's like she's not even around anymore. So who's next to go in next week's episode is Cruella. Well, Cruella got her happy ending at the very end of the episode too, and then it's just Maleficent left. And then you give Maleficent a happy ending after that. And then who comes back to cause havoc? Zelina.
What I don't understand is this feels very end of the show-esque. I mean,
Yes, it does.
how do we go from all these villains getting their happy endings and talking about getting their happy endings to all of a sudden just having another villain just, and that being...
Oh, I have a theory about who the next character will be on the show. And I wrote a whole season 5 about this.
I know, but it would feel very odd following this because this is so meta. This
right.
This arc, it's very, it feels very ending, especially Rumple is finally like the ultimate bad guy for this season. This feels like the end of the show. It really does.
I don't think it's been renewed for a 5th season yet.
It hasn't yet, but it's expected.
Right. But if it did, I guess that'd be a great way for the show to end.
Yeah. I just don't see how they go from here.
Or it's gonna end with like the happy endings not even being fulfilled, and it's gonna have like Emma becoming evil at the end of it. Like she's gotta sprout bat wings.
What?
I said at the end of it, like it won't even have like all the villains get their happy endings. It's gonna have Emma become evil, and like she'll sprout bat wings because she turned into a demon.
That is
and so like
that's a possibility.
I'm kidding, but I'm not. Like I feel like what's next week? Episode 18 of the show?
Yes.
Yeah. So episode 18 is next week, and then there's including 18, there's 5 left. So they have to really wrap stuff up quickly, or they're going to drag it out. So,
we'll see.
One of the two. We'll see. But so from a scale of excellent to sucky, I know you don't like to do ratings, but I figured words are a good way to help give a rating. Where would you put this one?
Well, I like to do the whole letter thing, right? Like,
we can do it. I'll do letters. I like letters.
I would say B- because of the potential that exists. Just I think the convoluted, tripping over itself storytelling is hindering it.
Okay, I would give it an A- for this episode for me, because I was so happy that we didn't have Cruella get hit with a frying pan, or we didn't get to see those awful tentacles of Ursula.
Right.
Or and in the beginning with Jennifer Morrison being upset with her parents, like I thought that was great, and I kind of knew the reveal of Zelina, but I like that character, so I would go A-, and take a A- and a B- and average together, get a B. The B.
It's in between B and a B+. There's
So either way, it goes to being a good episode. Is our point.
It's a B with the line going down. It doesn't have both lines for the plus. It's the line going down. So that's our rating for this week. For this week's episode. B and a line.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. The in between okay, like an almost average to like a good is a B with a letter with a line down it. All right, we're gonna use that for now.
Boom.
We've made something else up.
Boom.
So boom, yeah. So for all of you watching in the future, and I know there will be thousands and millions of you who watch these, let us know in the comments what you thought about the episode, and subscribe to Other Robert Agree to Disagree. That's it.
And
So,
RJ reviews.
and of course, and RJ reviews. Yes, thank you. And as of course, I am R.
And I'm Jay.
And we are out of here. Good night, everybody.